Welcome back to Brothers of the Crow, where we are just about to start the Noble War. Buckle up for this ride. We, the Brothers of the Crow, have defeated the Savage King and limp our way back to Königsfeld. Even without its massive body, the head of the Barbarian King makes quite a splash when shown to Baron Donbert von Osten.
By the gods, it is truly heavy. Oi, Burke!
A servant steps forward. Your employer grins.
Fetch me a pike. We're going to hoist this horror's head into the heavens.
A suitable stop for a savage. Shortly after we leave the Baron, Elmer of Königsfeld finds us and asks us to put some grave robbers out of their misery. Thankfully, it's just grave robbers this time. Siegfried of Sonnfel's got a few dogs at his feet, all tuckered out with their tongues lolling. They've spent the last few days hunting for missing folk that are seemingly disappeared to God knows where. The folk don't know what I know, though, which is that people are just disappearing. They've been taken, horrible beasts are afoot, sellsword, and I need you to go after them. Hell, maybe you'll even find one or two of them, though I doubt it. At this point, I wish we had charged Siegfried by the head, as 20 bandits are holding up the road, and it looks like they were the ones that caused all the peoples to go missing. I'm breaking character for this one just because it's going to be a boring video. So what is the game plan for how we get ourselves from the start of the Noble War to the finish of the Noble War? Well, the entire game of Battle Brothers is all about a timed growth system, where the longer the time goes on in game, the more difficult all the challenges get. So I'm looking to beat the in-game scaling by scaling my own party faster. The two ways to do this are to get better stats and to get better gear. You can get better stats by either getting levels up, or you can get better backgrounds. And then to get better gear, it's generally going after masterwork items. And here I am going south in order to find gladiators and templars, which are better background units. And then afterwards we are going to go bust camps in order to get those masterwork items. We find a shattered skeleton nailed to a tree by an enormous axe. It's mostly just the chest cavity, for the rest of it has long since fallen apart. Long, curving artwork has been carved into the tree trunk. Goswin the Sturdy walks up and touches the handle of the axe. Its weight almost as sturdy as the tree it's embedded in. I'd say this is orc territory by the looks of things. The first camp that we smashed was not the one we were looking for. Instead, we had come upon Mirkwood Marauders Camp. A host of young orcs from a nearby tribe occupy it. The battle is over. You trundle about the camp looking for anything useful, finding nothing that you can take but a dead stack of knights. Their pale, warmed, and maggot-buggered faces suggest they've been here for a while. Who knows what the orcs were doing to them? Baron Donbert von Osten is humoring a wench when you walk into his room. She quickly gathers her things and leaves in a hurry, diverting her eyes from yours.
Don't mind her. She's friends with my wife, that's all. Speaking of friends, why don't you be a friend of mine and go raid House Idlerich's territories?
The man wobbles as he steps before sitting on a desk. He sniffs his fingers, shrugs, and drinks his wine.
Go to their lands and destroy as much as you can, then head back here. I mean, you can stay if you want, but I highly suggest coming back because their armies won't be pulling up with your shite for long.
These bandit leaders are getting more and more well equipped, and we are not. Toward the end of the battle, we surround the enemy captain, we pull out our daggers, and we start puncturing his body just to save the armor for later. The brothers have come back to Siedlitz after 3 months in order to burn down a blast furnace. The local royal guards attempt to stop us. Atop a hillside, we give the surrounding land a good look. Isn't much there except for a large group of men flying banners from House Alderich, who seem to be stepping your way. It's one hell of a sight, and they're coming up close and personal. We have enemies coming. Prepare ourselves to fight, or we must run because we're burning all their shit down. We see the royal companies hot on our trail, but Finsterwheeler is on our way out, and we intend to get a little bit more pay before we head back home. We destroy the Gatherer's hut near Finsterwheeler while within eyesight of the enemy nobles, and they can't stop us as we walk out south. While marching back from Finsterwheeler, we reflect on the wealthy Brigandry that we provided to the Baron. However, the Baron is only paying us for 5 days, and we attempt to go back to him. However, on the way, we find ourselves in front of a tomb filled with necrosavants. Necrosavants, bloodthirsty undead that live long lives and host untold riches in their ruins. They burst into bats and chase down our men. These bloodthirsty undead are more like assassins than soldiers. They encircle our troop and aim for the weakest. Our heavy front line trade people between the lines, keeping our weakest away from the undead wherever possible, and never letting someone go off on their own to get surrounded. We clear out the Necrosavant's ruins, but don't find any of the masterwork weapons that we're looking for. Instead, it's just gold and silver. Northeast of Al-Hazif, a nomad bandit camp with a leader resides. The nomads are more skirmishers than our fighters are, and they force our lines to separate as their men swap into two different groups. Their archers move forward, however ours are launching their arrows in to kill them. Once again, we are unlucky, and the bandit leader has no masterwork weapon to provide us. North of the bandit camp, we venture into the vestibules of an ancient oracle. It is like stepping into someone else's dream, and for now, an impoverished and clustered tent city has clung to the sides of the oracle's edges. It is a decrepit end for those who have buoyed themselves to hope and have made themselves refugees of reality. We will see our fate come here again. Food as diverse as any nobleman's or close enough. That's what we have supplied our company of men, and they are supremely appreciative as they chow down on the food. Our quest for named pieces of gear takes us west into the wastes, after an innkeeper tells us a rumor that a weapon is being held within a graveyard. Our experience with these slow undead has turned us into professionals. We use puncturing weapons to disperse the geists and heavy damage to deal with the werewolves. If we cannot kill the ghosts fast enough, our men start to break, just like this man on the northern flank. Our bannerman walks north and cheers him on to get him back into the fight. However, that was a close one. In the end, nothing useful has come from our adventure west into the wastes. Carrying a leather-bound tome in hand, Weirdkind shuffles into your tent. Without a word spoken, he lays the book on the table and takes a step back. You set your quill pen down and ask what it is. He says to open it. Sighing, you open the book and come to find pages littered with names and events you know well. It is a history of the company and its adventures. You flip through the pages, seeing old tales that warm your heart and some that break it. You close the book, push it back across the table. The historian asks if it's all right, and you nod. You say give it to the men to read around the camp, for it will surely lift their spirits. And the deeds of the Brothers of the Crow shan't be forgotten. Thank you for taking this ride with me. If you like my content, please consider liking and subscribing.